Come on now. How do they do it? How can they offer you a job without an interview? Let's get it right here with me on Easy Federal Resumes and more. And might I add, for free, it's absolutely possible to get a federal job without an interview. I'm Lisa, and I've seen it for myself. And that's what I do here. I share more than 20 years of experience working with individuals to get their foot in the door with the federal government with me. You're here because you want to work for the federal government, right? Well, there's a smart way to go about it. That's what this channel is all about. So stay with me all the way to the end because I have a lot to share with you today. How can they hire you without an interview? That's what we're going to answer today. It's called a conditional offer, which, as I've touched on before in this video, we're going to take a deeper dive into the hiring manager's process and what is at play to make it possible for the federal government to have the confidence to hire you without an interview. Their confidence is reflective of their processes in place and ultimately the information that you provide them. At face value, a conditional job offer simply means that there are conditions to the offer they have for you. Now, that primary condition that is likely to be referenced in most cases when you receive that conditional letter of hire is that you pass the background check. While that sounds simple, think of what I've covered previously in my playlist that talk about security clearance. You've learned by now that it's more than just a simple security clearance. It encompasses everything from your financial suitability to the verification of your education. And who's verifying that education? Definitely not you, but your academic institution. Now, it might be too grandiose of an assertion, but it looks like everything is possible here on YouTube, to finding Bigfoot to earning $1 million in a day. But here on Easy Federal Resume, I'm trying to continually provide you with the validation so that you can have greater confidence in the information I'm bringing to you. Knowing the facts or how to check them is what builds knowledge, strength. And I talk about that a lot in my Work Wednesdays. Well, knowledge is power, my friends. So do your own research and let me know in the comments below what you find out. So here is my research. This image right here was taken from a slide back at a conference in 2011. Now that's a long way ago, right? I know. The conference was held in an effort to roll out, sell, or brief human resources managers of the benefits of usajobs.gov. Their assessment tools, as you can see, is a questionnaire. When do you get them? Well, you get them as soon as you click that apply button. It takes you to a whole nother path where you undergo an assessment, or I like to refer to it as test. You see now a federal resume, while it is critically part of your process, the second and equally important process is that assessment. An assessment is a critical tool for their decision-making process because it is essentially, as I said, a test or a procedure administered to individuals to evaluate their job-related competencies, their interests, their fitness for employment. Now, those assessment tools, the importance of them and their accuracy is critical because the scores are used to forecast what kind of performance you're going to have on the job. And most importantly, the characteristics referred to are predictive validity, which I'm going to rewind and go back to that definition. But before we go down that trail, we're talking about why they would even want to do that. In order to determine the necessity to hire an individual without an interview, agencies must individually, per each job, determine the timetable to fill the position, the staff available, the financial resources, the number of positions to be filled, and the nature and complexity of the work that's getting ready to be performed, or will be performed, shall I say. When they find it necessary to hire without an interview, It is based on their reliance on the assessment score and your suitability. The tentative, aka conditional job offer of acceptance, is an element that is performed by not just the Human Resources Department, but the Security Office. And that's why I said the two tie together. Now, let's dig into what the term predictive validity means. Predictive validity is the extent to which a score on a scale or test predicts the scores on some criterion measure. It's a test administered to incumbent employees. Then a rating of those employees' jobs performance is or has already been obtained independently of the test. Now, that's a mouthful, I know. Now, I've talked before on this channel about the funnel. Check it out. Now, after reviewing all your documents, all that's coming down and through the funnel, and your assessment is scored, you're going to get notice via email, or you might even receive a phone call. But you're definitely not going to feel a handshake, a fist pound, a bump, or any of that, because they've got it all. And you're going to have several days to complete the tasks that are needed, which, as I said, is primarily consistent of the security clearance, as well as the information or forms that you submitted over there on USA Jobs. All that information that I'm harping about over there on USA Jobs, I've said it many times, is why you need to be prepared. Get ready, get over there before you click and fumble on apply. Make sure you have everything together, because you're only going to make it worse on yourself. Trust me, I've seen it, and that's not a pretty picture at all. The period allowed by HR to audit it must meet the expectations that they have in order to comply with the laws and regulations in order to extend you a job offer. They use predictive and other forms of validity in order to have greater assurance that not only are they getting the best, the strongest candidate and the greatest potential to succeed, but also for your money, your tax-paying dollars, to ensure you're getting the best employee for your buck, which you want to get back ultimately. The buck starts with you and how you apply. So yes, you can get a well-paying job without an interview because you've been fully assessed, and systematically so, even before they've laid eyes on you. Essentially making the interview process only a formality in most instances, and reduces the necessity of interviews down to one, which I've also discussed here on this channel. Now that you see the magnitude of your federal resume and that assessment tool, you may now see for yourself why you might have not been fully prepared previously, and why your success that you desire is supported right here with me, Lisa, on Easy Federal Resumes and More. And might I add, for free. Now, I'm confident that this information is a benefit to you. So please hit that like button to signal to YouTube the algorithm that you find my channel to be a benefit to you and you want them to share with others. Bye for now.